Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Smack Raw Podcast, your one-stop shop for WWE, AEW recaps, reviews, and pay-per-view predictions. My name is Vince, and I'm joined here by Kevin. Kevin, say hello to everyone.
What's up, people? How's it going?
All right. If you're joining us for the first time, we're a podcast that can be found on Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, and on YouTube. So you can go ahead and subscribe there. Help us reach the 100 subscriber mark. Like that video and comment down below on that video, and give us some feedback. Because we're just a wrestling podcast of a couple guys just chit chatting, just shooting the breeze. But we like to hear your opinion, and we like to interact with you as well. Today we're going to be covering the Clash of Champions pay-per-view. We're going to be predicting the matches and just give you guys a little bit of what we think is going to happen at the show. But before we do that, you can also follow us on Twitter at the Smack Raw Pod. You can find me at SCS Vince on all social media platforms. Kevin, where can people find you?
That is at Kevin Crazy 316, and that's crazy with a K.
Perfect. Sounds good. So let's not waste any time and get right into it. We're going to start things off with the SmackDown Tag Team title match between the New Day and the Revival. Kevin, who do you think is going to walk away with this?
Well, I think this is going to be a really good match. I'm a big New Day fan. I have been for a long time. Xavier Woods and Big E, I think, are great. But, I got to go with the Revival. I just think that they have a little bit more momentum right now. And the alliance they forged with Randy Orton has been very good for them. They've been destroying the New Day the last few weeks on SmackDown and Raw. So, I think it's hard to go against the Revival in this one.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong here. Obviously, this is one of those matches on the card that can be a toss-up. It's 50-50 in my opinion. Just take your pick here. I can sit here and make a case for the New Day, but we're gonna start things off by agreeing with each other. I'm gonna go with the Revival as well. Not to spoil anything further down in the video in the episode, but there's a reason for that. But I got the Revival, like you said. Yeah, like you said, the Revival have been looking very strong with Randy Orton, and I think it's just the right time. I mean, New Day can go ahead and drop those titles and then get them right back later down the line. This could be a feud that can be carried on for a couple months. So, like you said, I'm gonna go with Revival as well here. So another match that might be on the kickoff show is probably like a guarantee. We're gonna go with the Cruiserweight Triple Threat match between the current champion, Drew Gulak, facing on Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado. I'm Mexican, I'm Latino, and I'm not even sure if I pronounced Humberto's name properly. So I'm going to start this off this time. As much as I love both Humberto and Lince, I don't think it's the right time to take the title off of Drew Gulak. He's still a strong Cruiserweight champion, and I think you should go ahead and ride him out until you find the right babyface to take that title off of him. But what do you think?
I totally agree. Drew, I mean, he just reinvented himself recently, as a heel, and it's been crazy. I'm all on the Drew Gulak train, but I will say this: Humberto Carrillo is one of my favorite young talents right now, and I was stoked to see him in this match. I think he totally deserves to be there. I think it's going to be a banger, honestly. The last couple Cruiserweight Championship matches have been so good, and I'm really excited about this match, honestly.
No, yeah, and me too. See, here's the thing about the Cruiserweights. They always put on a great show. It's just that a lot of people just don't care, or they're not highlighted enough. Hopefully these guys get a good 15 to 20 minutes, but that's just being very optimistic with WWE. Initially, this match was going to be a singles match between Humberto and Drew, but Lince ended up pinning Humberto, if I'm not mistaken, and got added to the match. It does add a different dynamic. I haven't seen too much of 205 Live, but it does look like Lince Dorado and Humberto aren't done with each other, so maybe that kind of cancels each other out, and then Drew Gulak can take advantage from there, because he's a very resourceful champion, in general. So I don't know. We're starting off agreeing with each other a lot in some, but
right.
some of these matches, man, they're pretty easy to predict.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, you could make a case for any three of those guys, really. I just feel like I just like you said, I just don't think that it's time to take the title off of Drew Gulak yet. You know, he's had a couple really dominant, defenses, and it's just, yeah. I mean, even if he loses the title, honestly, I don't think he's going to be the one to get pinned. You know,
that's a very good point. Because then he can have a case to have a rematch because he was never pinned.
Exactly.
Got it. Well, and here's another point. Soon, 205 Live is going to be absorbed into NXT. Maybe someone in NXT is the one that takes the title off of him. Maybe a Kushida, perhaps. We don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Imagine. I'd be into that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. But so we're both in agreement here, right? We got Drew Gulak here.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So let's move on to another one. This one I'm not too confident about. It just got changed to a no DQ match. We have Roman Reigns taking on Eric Rowan. Kevin, start us off.
I mean, this has been a great build. At first I wasn't really into this storyline. I thought it was crazy, but like when Rowan got on the mic, I was blown away. But yeah, I mean, like you said, this is the hardest one to call. I think probably, maybe on the whole card. You know. Probably Rowan, honestly, just because he hasn't, had a singles match in so long, and they're really making him out to be totally unstoppable. He's thrown Roman Reigns around like a rag doll a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to imagine that he's, they would have him lose.
Right.
But I could totally see Reigns winning, but Rowan by a little bit, I think.
I mean, it's Roman, too. I mean, like, granted, he's like, I'm not gonna be one of those guys to be like, "Oh, Roman's pushed on our throats," because he's not. He's not at the moment, and I've been able to like really enjoy Roman right now. But he still has that Roman thing where you're like, man, it's Roman. Will he really lose? And especially if Buddy Murphy didn't beat Roman, like, I don't know, man. I kind of see. Here's the thing: if he does beat Roman, is it clean or is there some kind of like wonky finish?
Yeah, that's true. I could see that happening for sure.
Because it is no DQ, man. And then even though he got put through a table, maybe Daniel Bryan could be desperate enough to regain his friend and help Rowan beat Roman at the match. Man, that's hard to say, Rowan and Roman.
Yeah.
But
right.
So, I mean, yeah, they're just building him up. Just so we don't agree on everything, and this is such a toss-up, I'm going to say that Roman wins because, it's Roman. You never count this guy out. Never count this guy out. Before they changed it to a no DQ match, I would have said that it would have been like some kind of like no contest finish, but they kind of tied themselves into like there has to be a winner in this.
Yeah, I was actually really glad that they decided to make it a no disqualification match because I felt the same way you did. There was going to be some kind of shenanigans, and it was going to be stupid.
Right. Here's the thing. If Rowan goes and throws another fan at Roman Reigns, I will be stoked. I want to see that now.
Yeah,
after what he did on SmackDown, oh my gosh. Yes, totally. Oh, man. Hey, there was so many interesting spots in their little brawl, and if we get even a taste of that on Sunday, the match is going to be good. When Rowan hit Roman with the crane camera, oh my gosh, that was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Totally expecting that match to be good. It's just hard to say who's gonna win. That's all, you know.
It's a real toss up. But so you're sticking with Rowan, with Eric Rowan here, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go with Roman, because it's Roman Reigns. So
you can be wrong if you want.
It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time, Kevin. Okay, so let's move on to some tag team action. We have the women's tag team titles being defended. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross defend their titles against Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Do you want to start this off, or you want me to go?
I can do it. Yeah, that's fine.
Going. What do you think?
Nikki Cross had that match with Sonya Deville on SmackDown, right? That's when that was. And
it was. Was it Sonya? Or was it Mandy? It was one of them,
Or
right?
Mandy, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
You're right. It was Mandy
Yeah.
because it was like, Mandy was like, "You're ugly. You'll never look like me," or whatever
Oh
stupid
my
thing
god.
she said.
That
Which
was
was,
so dumb. That was so dumb.
yeah, that was cringy. That was cringy. Um, but man, Nikki Cross came out with a vengeance though, and totally kicked her ass. And I'm really sold on the Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross team.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at first. I thought it was really stupid, but man, they've really they've drawn me in. I got to think that they're going to retain. They just work really well together. They have good chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's not anything against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville as far as their in-ring stuff goes, but I just
I mean,
I just think that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are totally legit at this point.
yeah, I think they totally made them. Like you said, I was kind of like skeptical when the team first got together, especially since it was like the story dynamic was like Alexa was using Nikki Cross to advance her career or whatever. But
Yeah,
maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But the story has slowly, I feel like it has become to like Alexa has slowly befriended Nikki, and she's kind of like liked her, so she's genuinely becoming friends and caring for Nikki Cross. I think
right.
in her tag match, I'm not sure who they were facing, but she could have had the win. I think it was Fire and Desire actually on Raw, I believe, or SmackDown. Man, see, just shows how much wrestling there is. But she was going to go for her finish. She was going to go for the Twisted Bliss, and then Nikki Cross got like attacked or whatever on the outside. She got distracted for a second, and she missed. And then she got taken out, and that's how she got pinned. So there have been signs that show that Alexa genuinely starting to care about Nikki Cross, and it's not just her using Nikki. And also too, like as much as I like Fire and Desire, and I think they have great chemistry in the ring too. Like you can tell these people are friends, like genuinely behind the scenes. You can tell they like each other and they have that genuine chemistry. But this match just felt like it was thrown together. Like it was like kind of like last minute just so that the women's tag titles were defended because it was Clash of Champions. I felt like if it was any other pay-per-view, maybe this match doesn't happen.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, so
For sure.
and also too, like this is just me going into fantasy booking territory, but with the whole Bayley Sasha dynamic, maybe they have a union where they go after the tag titles again. Sasha and Bayley are both women champions and tag team champions at the same time. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they want to pull an Undisputed Era and hold all the gold.
That would be sick. I'd be totally into that.
But I personally think that right now Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are hitting it on all cylinders. They're knocking it out of the park. I don't think it's their time to drop the titles just yet. So I'm gonna agree with you again, Kevin. But hey, I got a Bliss and Cross as well. All right,
right on, man.
Sounds good. So next match we're gonna be talking about. Let's move over to SmackDown and let's talk about that IC title match between Shinsuke Nakamura and The Miz. And before we start talking about who we think is gonna win, it's plain as obvious that Kyle will go and take it to his grave and say that The Miz is gonna walk away as the IC champion just because WWE is petty and want him to tie Chris Jericho. I don't think I agree with him. I can see his case, but I don't think I quite agree with him. But go ahead, Kevin. What do you think?
I can see what he's saying there too. I mean, WWE has been pretty historically petty, when it comes to stupid stuff like that. But I don't know, man, because Shinsuke Nakamura just came back recently. And this whole Sami Zayn dynamic and all that stuff, they're really it feels like they're trying to push that. I just don't think he's going to lose. But, I could see that happening. And to be fair, I don't necessarily have a problem with The Miz winning it either.
I kind of do. You're slowly building, in the sense that you're slowly building up Shinsuke. You paired him up with Sami Zayn. Like you said, you're building that dynamic just for The Miz to squash all that and, just get the title for what? For me, I don't think it makes sense. Am I okay with The Miz getting the title off of Shinsuke? Yeah, sure. That's not the issue. I just think it's too soon maybe the next pay per view
Yeah.
at Hell in a Cell, that's when he gets the title off of Shinsuke. I don't know, man. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say Shinsuke. I got Shinsuke retaining here. Sammy is probably gonna get involved, even if it's not a
Yep.
clean win. They might protect the Miz that way. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was your point?
Oh no. I was just going to agree. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it's going to be a clean win necessarily either, because you're right. I mean, I think that this feud will go on. You know, but I just, yeah, I can't see Shinsuke losing.
Right.
You know,
Well,
I don't want him to lose. You know.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to see him lose either. Because especially with him being paired up with Sami Zayn, and honestly, like I'm just a big fan of factions. You know, New Japan kind of like
Yeah.
got me with that. But you pair up Shinsuke with Sammy, maybe you pair up some third person and get like a fourth person. Now you got your little stable, and Shinsuke's the main leader. He's the guy that doesn't need to talk or anything. He just goes in there and handles business, a la Brock Lesnar. And then Sami
Yeah.
Zayn can be like a Paul Heyman that wrestles, you know. And then you pair up a tag team or undercard guy. I think you have the makings of a stable if they want to go in that direction. But yeah. Also, too,
Yeah.
like with me and The Miz, it's like I like The Miz, but right now he's kind of dull for me. He kind of hit his peak when he was having his Shane McMahon storyline, and I felt like they kind of just dropped it, and he kind of like faded away so that Roman and Shane can start feuding. And for me, I haven't
Yeah.
been invested in
Yeah.
The Miz in a couple months, actually. Especially since before this, the program was supposed to be Ali versus Shinsuke, which, man, that would have been great.
That would have been way better. Yeah.
And I love The Miz. This is not us shitting on The Miz by any means.
Right.
Just like, come on, like Ali. It's Ali, guys. Come on. Ali versus
Yeah.
Shinsuke would have killed it. But
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna go with Shinsuke. You're going with Shinsuke as well, right? Or am I
Yeah.
just putting words in your
I think
mouth?
No. That's what I said. No.
Okay.
I think we've only disagreed on the Roman Eric Rowan match.
Yeah, and I was gonna disagree on the New Day match. I might change my pick by the time the podcast ends, but we'll figure it out. There's still time. There's still time. But from one mid card title match to the other, we're gonna start talking about the match that got added this week: AJ Styles, Cedric Alexander. And before we start talking about who's gonna win, let's just admire that this match is probably gonna steal the show if it gets time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Cedric Alexander has been crazy lately, and obviously AJ Styles is AJ Styles. You know.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this match. Like you said, I mean, it might be the match of the night.
Yeah, it's all about time-wise. If it's given time, it could literally steal the show. If it's given like 15 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if this match steals the entire show right here.
Yeah.
And like the other title matches can obviously do that, but me personally, I'm a big AJ guy in terms of like I know that if it's in the ring with someone that's competent in the ring, he can put on a great match. And Cedric is not a competent guy. He's a phenomenal talent. And honestly, I'm surprised it took him this long to capitalize on him and actually use him on TV. Because for a while he was just in the 24/7 title picture. And once Paul Heyman took over, you can see that he was being built up, especially in that King of the Ring tournament.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it blows my mind now too, especially to see where he's at now. It's like, what were you guys thinking? You know,
Right.
he should have been out there every week like he is now.
I mean, for a while there, I was kind of like discouraged, and I was like, man, he's gonna be the next Apollo Crews or like the next like Buddy Murphy. They're not gonna do anything with him. He's just gonna sit there in catering, maybe show up for a 24/7 title like segment, and that was it. But him being added to the tournament, the King of the Ring tournament, and then now he's in the program with AJ. You're in the program with the United States champion, and arguably right now the OC, the club, whatever, they're one of the top acts on Monday Night Raw. And if you're associated with them, that shows that the people in the back think highly of you and want you to succeed and want you to be a top guy in that division.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love Cedric, and I want him to win. But would it really be possible for AJ Styles to lose the title here?
Well, I want him to win too. But I don't think AJ Styles is necessarily going to win clean, just because like I feel like, you know, with the OC, it's like every match
Yeah.
AJ's had they've gotten involved in. So maybe they'll do a thing where, like, the ref bans them from the ringside like halfway through or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, that would be kind of cool. If that's the case, I think Cedric has a real shot at winning. But if that doesn't happen, I can't think that AJ's gonna lose. But I don't think he's gonna win clean.
Got it. See, I'm gonna disagree with you here in the sense that we've already talked about maybe one messed up finish with the no DQ match where Daniel Bryan could make his presence shown to like help out Rowan. I don't think they'll do two segments like that. So they're either gonna do that in the no DQ match or they're gonna do that here. It's more likely that happens here. So even if the OC don't get involved, I think that this is gonna be kind of like Ricochet AJ, where like Ricochet gets really really close, but at the end AJ's veteran like wherewithal is gonna like take over and he's gonna capitalize on like one little mistake that Cedric's gonna have. And I think storyline wise he has like some kind of like back or like leg injury, doesn't he?
Cedric?
Yeah. From like the beatdown like that he took at the hands of the OC and then like the wear and tear from the King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because if I remember correctly, the last match that Cedric had, I don't remember who it was with. I think it was in the King of the Ring tournament. They were really targeting his leg. So yeah, I think you're right.
He was Baron, Rob's guy, Baron.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah. So I think that's the whole reason why Baron Corbin won. God damn it.
Hey man, I think the only reason Baron Corbin won was so that Rob can go home happy at the end of the night. To be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Probably. So okay, AJ here for both of us then.
Yeah.
All right,
but not clean as far as I'm concerned.
So I'm gonna say AJ, but I'm gonna say it's a clean win. It's a hard fought win where AJ Styles like kind of has a little respect for Cedric, but he's such a heel that he doesn't want to admit it. But Cedric earns AJ's respect at the end of the night. That's what I'm going with.
I mean, either way, like we said before, this could steal the whole show. This is gonna be great. Yeah. I'm really stoked for this match.
Again, with the caveat that it's given time. If it's given 10, 12 minutes, maybe not. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see. One match that might be getting a good significant of time is the Raw Tag Team title match. We have Seth Rollins, the current Universal Champion, and he's going to be teaming up with Braun Strowman. They're going to be defending their tag team titles, and they're going to be facing off the newly formed team of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, which I've dubbed Rudolph. I'm just throwing that out there. That's what they're called. They're going to be called Rudolph. So I
like that a lot.
So that's their. I saw it on. I'm not going to say credit for it. I saw it on Twitter somewhere, and I ran with it. I decided to stick with it.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. So originally, I was thinking that maybe that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode were going to get the tag titles here to like lead into the title match at the end of the night. But man, the more and more I'm going through it, the more I think that Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins are going to stay tag team champions, and that tension between the two of them is going to carry on all the way till Hell in a Cell, maybe even a little bit longer. I don't think they're done telling the story of them having some uneasy tension between the two of them, like them not fully trusting each other, or at least Braun in this case, because it looks like Seth trusts Braun, but it's Braun that feels like he's going to get double crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just can't. I'm going with Rudolph. It's like I just can't imagine, just letting either Braun or Seth continue to be like a double champ.
Right.
Excuse me, but I feel like like you were saying, like I don't think that the feud between Braun and Seth is over. And in fact, I feel like there'll be something that'll happen in this match that'll further that. Mm-hmm. Like, one or the other is going to blame the other one for, their loss in that match, right, and have it, fueled into the Universal Championship, later on. But I'm just not invested in Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode though either. I mean, they just feel so thrown together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't imagine, continuing with the double champ thing,
I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and that's my take that I've been having up until recently. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that I want to agree on everything, or I really do feel like the tag titles are gonna stay on Seth and Braun. But man, I don't know. Like, I'm torn here. Like, I was so confident that Rudolph was gonna walk away as new tag team champions, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at this image right now, and I just I don't think they're the ones to take the titles off of them. Maybe they lose the tag titles on Raw the next night with War Raiders getting the titles off of them, or some other team. I just don't think it's gonna be
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
that's true. I mean, that's a good point, but it's man. I just have a hard time thinking about them going into the next match is still being champions. That's all.
Right. I mean, you're right. You're right. It's like I said, like you're probably right here. I'm just probably like reading too much into it, and I have my own fantasy booking idea in my head, and I've kind of like stuck with it. You're probably right here. I'm gonna be probably completely wrong, and they're gonna lose the titles at the start of the pay per view, and they're gonna be even more mad at each other when their title match starts. But I'm gonna stick with Seth and Braun here.
Fair enough.
All right. So finally, we have a little bit of disagreement between the new guys. All right, so let's go back to SmackDown and let's talk about Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair. Um, I'm gonna start off by saying that this is kind of weird for me, like in the sense that like I'm not sure if Bayley's a heel or a face because she's been acting like a heel that's still trying to be a baby face. I think that's the best way you can describe it. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like Charlotte winning the title here. I just don't see it. Like it's a top match. I'm gonna be excited for this match because like you put any member of the Four Horsewomen in the ring against each other, and you're gonna get a solid match at least. At the very least,
Oh,
you're gonna,
totally.
yeah, exactly. So also too, like my sister's like the biggest Bayley fan ever. So like I don't know. I feel like her energy carries over to me, and I believe in Bayley a little bit more than I should. Sometimes it's for the best. Sometimes I'm proven wrong, but I think Bayley is going to retain here. She's been adamant about like trying to prove that the SmackDown Women's Division is better, if not equal, if not superior to the Raw Women's Division, and she was trying to elevate that SmackDown Women's title. And if she loses here to Charlotte, that just kind of like derails her entire story. So that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards Bayley here.
I hear you, but I have to disagree.
Oh, okay. Is it because you want to, or you genuinely believe it the other way?
No. I genuinely believe it, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I mean, like, I mean, Charlotte Flair, the way that she's been killing it lately. Like, I thought she was kind of, she was losing me for a little bit, but she's come back over the last few weeks, and I really like where she's at. Plus, I feel like if they take the title off of Bayley, that maybe might let her take that full heel turn with Sasha, and then they can go get the women's tag titles. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm doing a little fantasy booking in my head too.
I mean, to your point, when was it? Was it SmackDown? No, it was Raw when they had the tag title match, where they were emphasizing, like after Bayley and Sasha lost, they were emphasizing, will this be the scene of, will they both walk away champions, or will neither of them walk away as champions? So they were basically saying they're either both walking away champions, or neither of them are getting titles. So they didn't even give us, like, commentary didn't even give us the idea that things might stay exactly the same, or the titles might flip-flop with Sasha being champ and Bayley losing the title. They've emphasized that either Bayley and Sasha are walking away both champ, or neither of them are walking away with their titles.
Yep. I would agree with that, honestly.
I mean, and it helps carry the story forward, in my opinion, because if you stay pat right where things are, like, how do you continue Sasha Becky? How do you continue Charlotte Bayley? Or do you just like flip the people around? I don't think that works. So yeah, either Bayley and Sasha are both walking away champions here, And man, in the middle of this conversation, as we're talking here, Kevin, I've kind of like slowly changed my pick for the Raw Women's title match. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've kind of slowly like, because we'll talk about it in a sec. But is there anything else you wanted to add to this about like anything about this match? No. Okay.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
So you're predicting that Charlotte is gonna go and get the title off of Bayley, and Bayley's just gonna go full heel mode after this?
Yeah, I'm really hoping for that because, like you were saying before, you don't really like Bayley feels like a face trying to be a heel, and it's just weird, and it's not really working for me. So I'd like her just to go full heel, especially with Sasha Banks being around. You know?
Yeah. Okay, I can see your point. So like, yeah, I'm still gonna stick with Bayley. I'm still gonna stick with Bayley. All right, so. Since we are talking about Sasha and Becky Lynch, let's transition to the Raw Women's match. Sorry here.
Oh, you're right.
All right. Okay, so technical issues here. I don't have an image for Sasha versus Becky, but we're just gonna pretend that Bayley and Charlotte are Becky and Sasha. So let's talk about that match then. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch. Given that we've already like discussed what we think is going to happen, I'm assuming you're going to go with Becky here, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, there's not much to add there. I mean, is it really the time to have the title have Becky drop the title? I don't think so. The point I always make every year when the video game drops, who's on the cover? Are they champion? Yeah. If they are, they're probably not losing the title. Just like last year, AJ was on the cover. He was currently WWE champion. I knew he wasn't going to drop the title until after the game released.
Yep.
And then the fact that that Becky's on the cover with Roman, that just tells me right then and there that she's not dropping that title. And man, like I know I said Bayley, and I know we both agreed that either Bayley and Sasha are both gonna stay. They're both going to walk away as champions, or neither of them are going to walk away with titles. But, man, I think we stay pat where things are at. I think Becky stays Raw Women's Champion and Bayley keeps her SmackDown Women's Championship. Because I feel like maybe they might be... Because maybe I'm thinking too far down the line, but we are going to have a Survivor Series, and typically they have champion versus champion. And the story right now for Bayley is that she's trying to prove that she's just as good as Becky as champion, if not better. And I saw a tweet earlier where like Becky was watching TV and the commercial for Fox, SmackDown on Fox showed up, and Becky was on the graphic and not Bayley, and she basically said, "Look, you're over here trying to make your SmackDown Women's title relevant, but you're not even highlighted on your own show." And then Bayley quote tweeted that and said, "Next time," basically she said, "Next time at me. If it wasn't for my followers, I wouldn't have seen it." So
wow.
So I think maybe the way to go is that Sasha's gonna get maybe one more title match, or like maybe you put these four in a Hell in a Cell match next month. I don't know what you do, because we're gonna get that Fatal 4-Way Horsewomen match. It's just a matter of, are we gonna get it at a B-level pay-per-view like Hell in a Cell or WrestleMania? You know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, they've been
go ahead.
They've been teasing that for a couple weeks now, and especially after the tag match last week on SmackDown. I mean that's one of the best matches I've seen in a long time. That was nuts.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't able to watch it live, but I heard it was really good. And then when I got home, I honestly didn't even watch Raw. I went straight to I told my sister, like, "Hey, at what point does the Horsewomen match start?" I'm like, "Oh, it starts around this time." I'm like, "Okay, perfect. That's exactly where I'm starting Raw," because I wanted to start off with that match because I heard it was so good. But man, so yeah, you know what? I'm sticking by my guns. Bayley is gonna retain. Becky, even though I'm like the biggest Sasha guy too, God, I love Sasha. She's like one of my favorites on the roster, but she's not gonna get the title. I'm gonna say Becky.
I just don't think she's gonna get the title Sunday. I think she's gonna be maybe in the picture for a while, but I just don't think it's in the cards for her right now. That's all.
Yeah, totally. Because like we both agreed on, Becky's on the cover. She's not gonna drop
Yep.
that title. Sasha just came back, and I don't know. I think it's still too soon for, even if she wasn't on the cover. I still think it's too soon for Becky to drop the title. And I've already talked myself into the story that we're gonna lead off into Bayley versus Becky at Survivor Series, and it's gonna be champion versus champion. And leading up to it, the story is gonna be that Bayley's trying to prove that she's better than Becky Lynch. That's gonna be the story. I'm sticking to that, Kevin. You're not. I'm gonna pull a Rob, and I'm gonna stick to my guns here.
Well, there you go.
All right.
I can respect that.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll find out Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. So let's finally get to the top two title matches of the night. We're gonna go with Kofi Kingston defending his WWE title against Randy Orton. Kevin, where do you stand on this one?
Oof. This is tough. Especially with the last match that they had, that ended in a double count out. Oh my God. Kofi Kingston's kind of, we're seeing a different side of him. He's been a lot more aggressive, lately. And, I just think I still think that the, Kofi Kingston era is over. I'm into, Randy Orton having a title again. He's looked super, super strong over like the last couple months. And plus that match that they had with the last pay-per-view there, it was really good up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Randy Orton.
All right, so I'm glad you said Randy Orton, because I'm going to disagree with you and say Kofi keeps that title. See, you made a great point that they've been building up Randy and he's been looking strong, but he's been looking a little too strong for my liking. You get me? I feel like he's been just built up so strong so that that's another obstacle for Kofi to conquer, another obstacle for Kofi to like get out of his way, and it's a like get the monkey off his back. They've been the main crux of the storyline has been like the match they had back in like, what was it, 2011, where like Kofi like missed the punt like spot or whatever, and then Randy Orton gave him an RKO, called him stupid, everybody heard it, and that's kind of where this kind of came from. And trust me, I love that they've incorporated that, and I love that they went back to like history and like use that to tell a current story. So I've liked that, and I feel like the story has been that Kofi wasn't able to get past a certain point because he was being held back by Randy, and Randy admitted, I used my influence to hold you back. You weren't ready, and you're not ready now. So what story would that tell if Kofi loses here? That'd be like going to go watch the new Spider-Man movie and then Peter Parker dies halfway through the movie and he just loses right there. you get me? So I get where you're coming from. I feel like Kofi's championship reign has been like going in like peaks and valleys for me as well. There have been times where it's just been kind of low, but there have been times where it's been kind of high. So like this feud for me, especially certain stuff that they've done, I felt like has been a really good thing. I don't know, man. I just don't think it's the right time. I think the way you solidify Kofi as a top guy is you have him be the SmackDown representative at Survivor Series and have him face off against whoever's the Raw champion there. So, like, I'm already looking for... I'm skipping Hell in a Cell. I'm looking forward all the way to Survivor Series. Maybe it's because I'm going... I don't know. I don't know if it's that, but I'm already looking forward to Survivor Series. I'm trying to like book ahead, and that's usually not the way WWE tells their stories. They usually go by a week-to-week basis. But I don't know. I don't think this is the right time. Maybe this carries over into a Hell in a Cell because it has the heat and between the two guys where like Kofi, like just wants to like finish Randy once and for all. So it might end here, it might not. So like earlier when I was saying that the Revival are probably going to take the titles, it's because you want the story between Revival and New Day and Randy to continue, and you got to get some heat going back and forth. Since I don't think the WWE title's changing hands, I felt like the way to get that heat going the other direction is to have Revival take the titles, and now New Day are chasing them. So that's where I stood with it.
I hear you. I hear you. I just, man, I don't know. It's hard to go against Randy Orton. That's all. Just, he's such a beast.
Yeah, I mean, he's been at the top of his game, man. Heel Randy Orton is best Randy Orton. When he's trying to be like
Oh, for sure.
babyface Randy Orton or like RKO out of nowhere Randy Orton, where he's trying to play off the crowd, I don't think it works at all. Especially like when he turned face against Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family back leading up into WrestleMania. I thought that was like, no, that was so whack. Like, cause he turned into a babyface and he turned into boring babyface Randy Orton. And Randy Orton is a great wrestler. He has one of the coolest like moves in all of WWE, and he's just such a great heel. I don't know. Man, I'm still feeling that Kofi Kingston magic, man. I still got Kofi Mania running wild on me, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
I say Kofi gets here, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're right here, Kevin, and Randy Orton picks up the WWE title here, but I don't know. I don't see it just yet.
Fair enough.
All right, so last official title match on the card is the Universal title match, and unfortunately, doesn't look like I have a thumbnail for that as well. But we'll talk about it anyway. Okay? So let's see here. All right. So I'm just going to put like the predictions thumbnail on there so we have something on the screen. So the last title match obviously is going to be Braun Strowman taking on Seth Rollins. Braun's going to be challenging Seth for the title. The story that's been leading into this match is the fact that this is the first time that tag team champions have walked in to defend the tag titles and then later on face each other for the top title in that company. Obviously, this one's feel like it's a little bit of a toss-up as well. I'm not sure which way they're going to go here, especially since The Fiend challenged one of them. He didn't specify that it was for the title. He didn't specify it was the winner or the loser in this match. He just said he was going to challenge one of them. So you got to take that into account when you predict the winner in this match. But I don't know. I'm gonna sit on there for a couple of seconds. Kevin, do you have anything set in stone just yet?
This has got to be, for me, probably the hardest match of the whole card. To predict. I just honestly, like, for me personally, if I'm looking at it, from what I want to happen, I just think that Seth Rollins is kind of stale right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a hard time thinking that the WWE is going to give Strowman the Universal Championship. I mean, how many times was he supposed to have a match and something would happen and he didn't,
Yeah.
Especially like, that feud that he had with Lesnar. That was awesome. There was all sorts of build up there. And then they took the match away from him,
Yeah.
But, and I'm just over Rollins at this point,
Yeah.
But my gut tells me Rollins is going to win, but I really want Strowman to win.
See, like, I'm a little bummed out because I want to be excited for this match because at one point Seth Rollins was one of my favorite guys to watch because he was so good in the ring. And especially when he was a heel, he was such a great character. And Braun, for like the longest time, he was like the hottest guy on Monday Night Raw. And I feel like both of those guys kind of like got a little bit stale for me. So in terms of who I think is gonna win, I think you're right. It's kind of hard to like see WWE putting the title on Braun Strowman and then Seth just drops it. I think they're still high on Seth. They're still really trying to make him the top babyface on Monday Night Raw, but I don't see I don't see either of them being good champs right now. But the safe bet is Seth Rollins for me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Seth. And then the question is, does The Fiend challenge for the title and goes after Seth, or does he start a program with Braun?
That is, man.
Because here's the thing, we I don't know if you listened to it, but at the news rundown podcast that we did with Colin, Sebastian, and Kyle. We both all of four of us kind of agreed that like Braun Strowman versus The Fiend might not be a good matchup because The Fiend would be looking up to Braun, and you still want The Fiend to like dominate a couple guys. We're not ready for him to have a competitive matchup just yet, and I feel like Seth Rollins can totally sell The Fiend. So if that's the case,
that's true.
So like if he so like let's say hypothetically the likely opponent for The Fiend is Seth Rollins. That's the question then becomes, does The Fiend challenge for the title, or is Seth not champion at that point? Because if The Fiend challenges for the title, The Fiend has to win, right? He can't just like pull another Bray Wyatt and lose one more match, right? Even if it's like he wins via DQ, or like there's some kind of wonky finish or whatever. Anything other than The Fiend winning the Universal title would be a letdown. If he's in that match, he has to win, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You can't make The Fiend look weak right now.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be really bad.
I mean, so you got Seth here, right? And I feel like I got Seth here too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just throw a monkey wrench into both of that. What if The Fiend didn't specify Seth or Braun because he's targeting both of them? What if he comes out? Now hear me out here. What if he comes out like the match is there, Braun is about to win, he's got Seth Rollins down and out, then the lights start to go down, the arena starts to distort, and then The Fiend shows up. He makes his presence known. He attacks Braun. He attacks Seth. We end the pay-per-view with The Fiend standing tall, wanting the Universal title. And at Hell in a Cell, we get the best of both worlds. We get a triple threat match between Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins and The Fiend. What do you think?
Yo, I'm down.
You're right? You're right?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that.
Totally
Like maybe they do a triple threat, and I think that's the best way you get around this. That's how you keep Seth as champion. You keep Braun not looking weak one more time, because like come on, like Braun would take a clean win here. Otherwise, like they can't have too many wonky finishes in the pay-per-view. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. And if you do a wonky finish with Braun, you just be like, of course Braun wasn't gonna win. But if you do this, you send the crowd home happy because they got to see The Fiend. He did some cool stuff by attacking both Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. And now you have The Fiend in a cage match for the title. And from there, you have Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman still in the mix. Neither of them look weak. You can carry on the tension because they're over here trying to like get at each other, but they also have to watch out for The Fiend in the background, maybe coming for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be my prediction. So if The Fiend doesn't show up, I'm gonna go with Seth. That's my safe prediction. But like my prediction, my like wild take here. I'm at a loss for the word I'm looking for, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that The Fiend might show up here and attack both of them, leading into a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell. Now, will he win the title there? I don't know. Only time will tell. But then we get. I feel like we get everything with that. We get The Fiend. The fans go home happy. Seth stays champion. Braun doesn't look weak. I think that's I think that's the way I'd book it. But if like I said, like I'll go with Seth if I had to pick one of the guys. Yeah,
I mean I agree. That would be perfect, and it would be a great build, for Hell in a Cell too.
Mm-hmm.
Get a job at WWE, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, not all Vinces can book shows. Like Vince McMahon may not be the best at booking from time to time, but man, this Vince can book a show here or there.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, I played enough Universal Mode to know what I'm doing. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so that's it for all the matches, but there is one more title. The 24/7 championship must be defended, right? I mean, it has to. Like, it's all champions have to defend their titles. The question is, R-Truth walking in as champion. Kevin, do you think he's gonna walk out as champion? He's gonna walk in as champion. Well, will he walk out with the 24/7 title, or do you think someone else is gonna be champ by the end of the night?
I'm the 24/7 championship is so hard to predict, and because there's just been so many crazy fucking things that have happened, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, like we were talking before, or maybe in the chat or something. I don't remember for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the 24/7 belt like changes hands a couple times at least, you know, throughout the night.
I'm gonna say there's gonna be at least like 5.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think Drake Maverick's going to be involved somehow. Obviously, you know, who knows? The B team maybe, you know, because they got it one week. It's anything can happen. Who knows?
Maybe they might have another legend show up. You know, Clash of Champions. They might like, try to promote like former champions or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if you see like, I don't know, like a Bret Hart rolls up R-Truth and becomes champion for like 2 seconds or something. I'm just throwing Bret Hart as a name out there because he's the first legend that came to my mind at the moment. Yeah. Not saying Bret Hart would be into that or he'd actually like try to be 24/7 champ, but you know, hey, you know, maybe it's time for one of the ladies to get the title again. Maybe, you never know. Never know. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Carmella turns on Truth.
I've been wanting that to happen forever now, but at this point, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so either, but that would be pretty cool. I'd be into it.
I mean, I'm rooting for Drake Maverick to get the title so he can finally consummate his marriage. But
right.
But what if there's a twist and his wife becomes 24/7 champion? So like I'm gonna say that the lovely married couple of either Renee and Drake Maverick, one of them are gonna walk away champions. I don't think R-Truth is gonna take that title. Take that title on Monday Night Raw the next night.
Your guess is as good as mine, man.
Right,
I'll agree with you.
It's honestly like needle in the haystack, right? Needle in the haystack. There's no way of knowing.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about the 24/7 championship since it came out, and thank God for R-Truth, honestly, because if it wasn't for that, that would have been the worst title in history.
Yeah, I mean, what I've liked is that it seems like they're letting the wrestlers have creative freedom with it and let them like, do their own stuff. Like the fact that Drake Maverick got married and at his wedding he got rolled up. Come on. Like, that's commitment to the bit right there. That's commitment to kayfabe right there. Come on. But,
right?
I don't know. Not only R-Truth, Drake Maverick has been the other guy. He's been like the...
That's true.
He's been like the Batman. Like, he's been the Joker to, like, R-Truth's Batman. Or, like, the Vegeta to, like, R-Truth's Goku. Like, they've been, like, the one guy he's been catching up R-Truth, but he just can't get there. I don't know. I like them. I like them both in the division. I don't know who's gonna walk away as champ, but do you take the field or you take R-Truth? I guess that's the best way to put it. Do you take the field or you get R-Truth? I think that's the better.
I mean, just because you took the field, I'll take Truth, but like, you know,
all right.
I could be very easily swayed, you know.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's all the matches. But before we head out here, guys, we're gonna take a look at what the rest of the gang has for the pay-per-view. Obviously, Kevin can't see right now, so I'll just read him out to him. Kyle has Roman Reigns beating Eric Rowan. He has Lindsay Dorado walking away as Cruiserweight Champion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's new. The Miz, like I said, he's dead set that the Miz is gonna walk away IC champion. He has AJ Styles, Fire and Desire. He thinks Fire and Desire is gonna get the titles. That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, Bayley. He's got Bayley. He's got Sasha Banks. Okay, so he's sticking with us in the sense that they're either both gonna walk away champs or neither of them are.
Yep.
He's got New Day and Kofi keeping their titles. He's got Rollins and Strowman keeping their tag team titles, but with the twist that Braun Strowman walks away as champion. So, hey, I'm not saying that's a bad idea. It'd be kind of interesting. No. I mean, what is there anything from like Kyle's like stuff that you're like, I don't know, Kyle?
I just can't. The only thing that's crazy to me is I just can't think that Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins are going to be the Raw Tag Team Champions. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I argued the opposite point. I mean, like I was saying, like this leads into a triple threat title match with the Fiend at Hell in a Cell, but Seth and Braun are still tag team champions. Oh man, that's just a lot of tension right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I don't know.
Right. I mean,
I just don't see it happening.
I mean that's what Kyle thinks. So like we'll see who's right. Let's move on to Sebastian real quick and try to run these down real quick so we not here for the entire night. He's got Roman Reigns. No surprise there. It's pretty safe bet. He's got Drew Gulak retaining just like us. He's got Nakamura. He's got AJ Styles. He's got Bliss and Cross. He has Bayley. He has Sasha. So the only title change up until this point, he has Sasha. Then he has New Day. Then he has Randy Orton. And like Kyle, he has Rollins and Strowman keeping the tag titles, but he has Seth retaining. So the only title changes that the Sebastian predicting here is Randy Orton and Sasha Banks. What do you think?
Interesting.
I mean, that's one way to put it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's on board with you on Randy Orton, and like, looks like for the most part they're on board with both him and Kyle are on board with Sasha. I mean, a case could be made that he might have a clean sweep right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's nothing like too out of left field. I mean, like, you want to talk about left field? Kyle took Lince Dorado. That's like, man, he wasn't even originally in the match, and Kyle got him walking away as champ. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
If Kyle gets that, kudos to Kyle.
Yeah, I'm real surprised he picked him.
Yeah,
especially because he was like, obviously like kind of the late entrant, into the match too.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see him as champ. It's just like, it seems out of left field.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on to Colin. He has Roman, he has Drew Gulak, he has Nakamura, Styles, Bliss, and Nikki Cross. He has Charlotte beating Bayley just like you. He has Sasha Banks. He has Revival and Randy Orton. So he has Randy Orton and Revival both getting those tag titles. Wow, that's okay. And he has Rudolph getting the tag titles, and Seth Rollins retains. So I mean, that'd be an interesting story if Revival and Randy Orton, because I believe that's what you have as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So like, imagine if the roles get reversed, and now Revival and Randy are the ones with the titles, and now New Day collectively have to chase them. So I mean, it's a story that can be told there.
For sure. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong as far as who wins those matches, honestly, because you can still continue that story because they have enough heat where it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So the last member that we're going to be talking about, their prediction, is Benji. Benji has Eric Rowan picking up the win. Okay, he has Drew Gulak retaining. He has Nakamura retaining. But here's the thing: he has Cedric beating AJ for the title, and it's not completely crazy.
Wow.
It's not completely crazy. I could see it happening. I just like the safe bet is AJ, but man, if Benji gets it on the money and Cedric wins that title, I'd be happy for both Benji and Cedric.
Yeah. But I hear you. I think it's Cedric's definitely the underdog, going into that match.
I mean, that's a great story they could tell right there. Like, he's such an underdog, and he walks away still victorious.
That's true. That's very true.
All right, and then to finish off his picks, he has Fire and Desire picking up the titles. He has Bayley retaining. He has Sasha picking up the title. And he has New Day as a whole retaining their SmackDown and WWE titles. He has Rudolph getting the tag titles. But he has Braun Strowman picking up the title. Which leaves me to believe that he probably thinks that The Fiend's going to attack Seth. And that's going to be Seth's program going into Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to think that unless there is that triple threat match in Hell in a Cell, like you were talking about, the Fiend's going to go after whoever loses the Universal Championship match.
Right.
For sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we should. I think we should cut things short right here. I think we've talked enough. I think the people listening have an idea of what to expect this Sunday. What we all think on the crew. Any before we sign off, Kevin, do you have anything you want to say? Any last thoughts you want to get out?
I'm just looking forward to it, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Me either, man. I can't wait. Can't wait. Before we head out, guys, make sure, like I said at the start of the episode, make sure to follow us on Twitter at the Smack Raw Pod. You can follow me at SES Vince. Kevin, where can they find you again?
Kevin Crazy 316, Crazy with a K.
Give him a follow. He's a great follow. I can vouch for you guys. You could also subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Like this video if you enjoyed. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. We can be found on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Podbean, anywhere you can think of. We're on there. I think this is it. Kevin, it was great having you onto the show. Not too bad for the two new guys running the entire show by themselves, huh? Not so bad, right?
I think we're gonna put those other guys out of a job.
We're taking over.
Nah, just kidding.
We're taking over. We're the new breed, like an ECW back in the day.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, folks. I'll see you guys on the next one.